Hi guys, welcome to Python tutorial 4. In this tutorial, we will discuss the key differences between how variable works in Python and other programming languages like C, C++, and Java. In tutorial 3, we will learn the basics of string and print statement, format to print a string, and how to print a string which has codes inside. Some of you might have programmed low-level languages like C, C++, or Java, but that is not enough to understand Python because the way the Python treats the variables and data types is different from the rest of the programming languages. So it's worth watching this video. You guys may skip this video if you are not interested to explore what actually happens inside a computer or behind a programming language. From this tutorial, we will move from Python console to writing the program in a Python file so that we can save it and use it forever. In C and C++, variable names have to be declared before they can be used. The declaration int x and int y shown here make sure that the program reserves the sufficient amount of memory needed to store an integer number for variable x and y. Here, the variable name stands for the memory location. It is like the two empty storage boxes on the right side. These storage boxes are labeled with x and y. Like the two storage boxes, the memory is empty as well. To assign value to the variables, we can use the equal to sign, also known as assignment operator. The way we assign value to variables is more or less the same in most of the programming languages. In most programming languages, we will be using the equal to sign. Let's assign the value 42 to both variables x and y, and we can see that both the numbers are physically saved in the memory, which correspond to the two storage boxes in the right side. To modify the value of the variables, we can use the equal to sign again. Let's say we assign a new value to y, which is 78 in this case. Now, we have successfully changed the content of y from 42 to 78 in the memory. Likewise, we can modify and update the variables as long as the program is running. We have seen now that in languages like C, C++, or Java, every variable must have a unique data type. Say for example, if a variable is integer like this, y, solely integers have to be saved in the variable during the duration of the program. Say if you want to store a floating point or a string or a character array or some other data type, you have to create a new variable. You won't be able to use it with the integer data type. It's a lot easier in Python to create a variable. There is no variable declaration required. It is not even possible to declare a variable in Python. If there is a need of a variable, you just think of a name and start using it in Python. Now let's take a closer look at one of the variables. The actual data is contained in the object itself, and Python variable x simply points or references to this object. What do I mean by that is, in the previous case for C++, at first we declare the data type of the variable so that the program creates a memory box. Then we assign a value inside the memory box. On the other hand, in Python, once we create a variable, the variable will not contain the data. It will just point to the object that contains the data. I want to demonstrate something else now. Let's look at the following code. X is equal to 42 and y is equal to x. So we created an integer object 42 and assign it to the variable x. After this, we assign x to the variable y. This means that both x and y are referencing the same object 42. The following picture illustrates that. What will happen when we execute y is equal to 78 after the previous code? Python will create a new integer object with the content 78, and then the variable y will reference this newly created object as shown in the picture. Another remarkable aspect of Python is you may change the data type of the variable during the execution of the program. At first, you can assign an integer value to a variable, use it as an integer for a while, and then you may assign a string value to the same variable, which is not feasible in other programming languages like C, C++, or Java. In the following line of code, at first we assign the value 42 to the variable x. As we said earlier, The type of variable can change during the execution of the script. Or to be precise, a new object which can be any type will be assigned to the variable. Let us see an example now. At first, we are assigning an integer value 42 to the variable x. To be precise, an object with value 42 is created and the variable x is referencing to that. Then we are adding a floating point value to the integer. Now the new value will be added into a new object and the variable will be pointing to the new object. After a while, we are creating a string data and then the variable will reference to the string data now. Another good thing in Python is that it will automatically take care of the physical representation of different data types. It's time for some action. I have created two programs in REPL for your reference. The URL link for both the programs is given in the description below. You may open it and click Run to execute the program and see the results on the screen here. If you don't have prior programming experience, the programs may not make much sense at the beginning. Not to worry much, just take a look for now, and eventually, over the next few tutorials, it will start making sense. The first program, Python tutorial 4a, variables in C++, shows how to create integer variables in C++, assign some values, and how to modify the variable. It also shows how the memory is allocated once the variable is created. The second program, Python tutorial 4a, variables in Python, shows how to create variables in Python, how to change the variable value, and store values of different data types into the same variable. It also shows what type of data Python variable is pointing to and its corresponding object ID. With that, we come to the end of this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I will go through how to create variables and assign values, print them on the screen, and the rules to name a variable. Thanks guys for watching this video and enjoy Pythoning.